Welcome back to a new devlog for Stack Order, our narrative roguelite deckbuilder where you face bosses in 1v1 battles and outsmart them by stacking cards to create powerful combos. After our previous episodes, we finally reached an important milestone in development, our very first playtest. And this playtest taught us a lot. Players pointed out what worked, but more importantly, what didn't. Some parts of the game felt too rigid, the tutorial wasn't clear enough, and moving through levels was breaking the flow of the experience. We also discovered that some card archetypes needed serious rebalancing. So, in this devlog, we'll walk you through what we learned from that feedback, the major changes we made because of it, and how these changes reshaped some core systems of the game. And if you're curious to try this new version yourself, we are currently running another playtest, and we'll tell you how to join at the end of the video. One of the most common pieces of feedback we received was about the combat feeling a bit too rigid. Originally, Stack Order was built around three main slots: attack, defense, and special. On paper, the system worked well and had a clear purpose. But once players got their hands on it, some of them felt that their decisions were too obvious. Often, they could immediately tell which stack to activate, with little room for hesitation, adaptation, or long-term planning. So we decided to rethink the system and moved from 3 slots to 5. This change isn't about adding complexity for its own sake. Instead, it gives players more rooms to plan across multiple turns, hold onto cards for later, and create more nuanced setup depending on what the boss is about to do. The core identity of the game, stacking cards and triggering them strategically, is still there, but the decision making feels much more flexible, expressive, and interesting than before. It also allows us to create more diverse and complex player and boss synergies around the different slots in the future. Another major issue that quickly became clear was the game's onboarding. For the first playtest, we created a quick and simple slideshow tutorial that could be accessed from the main menu. However, as the tutorial wasn't interactive at all, when players encountered the first boss in the game, many of them had forgotten the game's fundamental principle or certain mechanics. The first boss also felt very difficult and punitive if you didn't have a good grasp of the game system, and early failures often felt more frustrating than motivating. We stepped back and redefined what the first hour of Stack Order should accomplish. Instead of testing the player's skills too early, it now focuses on clarity, safety, and learning. To support that, we introduced a dedicated tutorial boss. This boss is intentionally simpler and less punishing, and is designed to teach rather than challenge. It gradually introduces the core mechanics, how card stacks work, how boss attacks are announced, and how turn flow and timing interact. Our goal with it is to give players space to experiment and make mistakes without heavy consequences, so they can build a mental model of the systems before the difficulty ramps up. The goal is a clearer onboarding phase that prepares players for deeper decision making later, instead of overwhelming them at the start. The last major point of feedback was about traversal between fights. As we showed you in the first devlog, the game originally featured side-scrolling levels in which players had to manually move their character through the environment. While this approach may have been effective in creating atmosphere and world building, it introduced significant issues. For example, traversal often took too long and felt unnecessary, as players just had to move their character from left to right through the screen. It also added unnecessary complexity to the game's control, as players had to move through the world using the keyboard. Furthermore, it disrupted the rhythm of the game by distracting players from what we want Stack Order to truly embody: narration and card-based combat. So, we decided to redesign this aspect entirely. Rather than side-scrolling levels where you move manually, the game now used fixed screens. Each area acts like a theater stage or like a living canvas, where players can move around and interact with bosses and NPCs by clicking the mouse. This approach maintains a smooth and focused experience, while enabling us to present strong environments and tell a visual story without interrupting the gameplay loop. The result is a much tighter flow between combat, narrative, and progression. We hope these changes will significantly impact the overall feel of the game. The goal is for combat to feel deeper and more flexible, for the onboarding process to be clearer and more welcoming, and for the overall pacing of the run to be smoother and more coherent. This is of course only one step in an ongoing process. These improvements are the direct result of a single playtest, and we expect to continue refining the game as more players share their feedbacks. That's why we're currently running a new playtest that incorporates all these changes. You'll also be able to experience the initial stage of the story and encounter new playable bosses. If you'd like to try the playtest and share your feedback to help shape the game as it evolves, join our Discord server to access it. The link is in the description. Thank you again for watching this devlog and following our development journey. We hope you enjoy the series and we'll see you in the next one, where we have a lot of exciting new things to show you, as well as a few surprises. Don't hesitate to follow us on social media for more regular updates and sneak peeks of the game, and see you in the next devlog!